Thanks to the support as a channel member, Fatty Man. Yeah, I know you're excited about the Champions League final coming up. And yeah, that's the one we've been working towards for 20 years. I get it. But first, I'd quite like to retain this Premier League title, if that's all right. Yeah, there's money attached to that too. Don't worry. Hello, welcome to part 169 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final two games of the Premier League season. We're at home against Birmingham, away against Leicester, knowing that we just have to better Manchester City's results. I mean, we're 4 points clear of them. You do your own maths, because you know I can't. Ultimately, with our better goal difference, if we draw them both, we win the league that way. Obviously, we just want to beat Birmingham and do it the easy way, a win against Birmingham in the first match. And we are champions and we get the trophy at the new home of football, which will be lovely, lovely stuff. Of course, this could potentially be our final two games in the Premier League of the save, depending on how the Champions League final goes on Wednesday. If we win that, we'll be ending the series after the Club World Cup, which is coming up this summer, regardless of defeat, of course, and you still get the Club World Cup, plus the transfer special, plus next season, and as long as it takes to win the Champions League. And even if we do win the Champions League, go on and do the Club World Cup stuff, it's not quite going to be done there, because you'll still get the traditional 5 years in the future video as well. So regardless, there's home content for at least the next couple of weeks, probably, even if we win on Wednesday. So you're allowed to cheer us on. We need positivity or we'll never win it. But for now, let's win the Premier League. There's no fear in cheering us on here, because this affects nothing other than the fact it's quite nice to keep winning the Premier League. And this is the team that we're going to be sending out there against Birmingham to try and become back-to-back Premier League champions. We're resting a few faces, because obviously we're off the back of the Champions League semi-final. We've got the final coming up. We don't need to risk too many players who aren't fully fit. So Park, Juan Jose, Ian, Kleber, all getting rests today, and we'll rest different players. In fact, if we win, we'll rest pretty much everybody on the final day of the season. But we're just trying to make sure that we don't overexpose anybody, risk anybody getting injuries or too tired before the Champions League final. But the team for today, we've got Perez in goal, about for Primus, Elias, Abagai, and Vinicius Antonio. Much and McKenna in midfield. We're finally doing this midfield combo. It's the future of Scottish football. Is it the future of football at home? We've got Madness and Figueira out wide, and then Jovanovic and Veloso up front. Veloso, of course, has already broken the record for goals in a season, league goals in a season. He's just setting a new benchmark now. That's all this is about. I did look up what the Premier League record is, and in Football Manager, it isn't a Premier League record. It's an English top flight record. So it's the Dixie Dean 60 goals in a season from like 100 years ago, which he's not going to get to. He's only on the mid-40s, I think, for Premier League goals. Regardless, is it 40s or 30s? It's high anyway. It's going to be a Premier League record, that's for sure. But he's not actually going to break the English top flight record unless we get another 10 games and he continues scoring the way he has. But of course, he still is only 23 years old, so he might break it in the future. Who knows? Figueira has won us a penalty here. And this is another example of where Veloso could pick up more goals in the future, because he doesn't normally take the penalties. He was our penalty taker a few years ago, and we took him off penalties because he kept missing them. Is he back on them today? Perisato's the player who just gave away the penalty. Veloso is back on penalties today, and he does score. So what's that? That is number 55 for the season in all competitions. Good to see Perisato back in the Premier League at Birmingham. I think we sold him to some club in China, so he's obviously made his way back to the Premier League and is part of the Birmingham side that's trying to help us win the Premier League. Club legend Perisato as he gets an assist in the game where we could potentially and should go on and win the Premier League for the second time. It's Figueira now with a free kick out wide on this right-hand side, but it's plucked out of the air pretty comfortably by the Birmingham goalkeeper. Of course, this is the Birmingham side that's got Keegan, the young free-scoring English striker, in. There he is now. I won't call him the one that got away, because that title's already been given in this save. The one that never came up on my scout reports. That's a 27th goal of the season for him. He's also scoring at pretty much a goal of game for England as a full England international in his early 20s. We know how hard it is to force a player into the England side from a non-Big Six club. Primus has only played a couple of times. I think he's the only one who's broken into the England side as a home player. Alex Williams got a few call-ups back in the day, but never actually made an appearance. Abagai, of course, has lots of caps, but he broke into the side when he was at Inter and has just stayed there since arriving with us. So it shows how good Keegan must be that he's an England regular while still being at Birmingham. But presumably he's got to be looking at his breakthrough season this year, both in the Premier League and internationally for England, and thinking, big move coming up for me. He's probably off to Manchester City, Manchester United, somebody like that. We obviously can't get him because he's too old for us to be able to get him. Right. Regardless of the life and times of Sean Keegan, we are trying to win this match and win the Premier League. So we probably need to focus back in on this. It's much in midfield, playing it forward to Veloso, who plays it forward beautifully to Jovanovic. Lovely pass to Madness, and he can't quite keep it inside of the post for what would have been a beautiful finish to a beautiful move. It looks like Manchester City are either not playing now or are losing their games. As it stands right now, even with just the point, our gap's gone out to 5. We'll check the Premier League table again in a second as soon as we can. But if Manchester City are playing and losing, it doesn't really matter what's going on here at Birmingham or against Birmingham because we're at home. And Keegan's in again. This is what happens when you talk about an opposition player. I mentioned him and he's gone on to score twice since first mentioning him. It's like I've learned nothing over the years, but he is a very good striker. Manchester City don't play until later in the day. They're away against Norwich, who are, they're not a bad side. They're certainly, I was going to say Birmingham aren't a bad side either. They're in 7th place. So I guess we've both got similar matches today, although ours is at home, theirs is away. And I think we've won another penalty. Madness this time, drawing the foul. The Birmingham players don't seem very happy about it. The ref is going over to the little telly. It does feel like there's a bit of a fix in here. If we get 2 penalties in a game where we're trying to win the Premier League and we've not turned up for it, clearly the FA are trying to woo me again into becoming England manager. It feels like that's what's happening. They're trying to get me involved in that by handing me a Premier League title when we don't necessarily deserve it. Over the season we do, but today we are playing pretty poorly. But this is going to be another opportunity for Sandro Veloso to add to his tally for both the game and the season. Come on, stick it in the back of the net. And he does 2-2 now with 25 minutes remaining, a 56th goal of the season for Sandro Veloso. It's utterly stupendous numbers. If you let me know down in the comments, have you ever had anyone score more when you've not been doing like a glitchy tactic? Because we're not using, this is just a normal 4-2-4. We're not glitching anything. There's no exploits going on here. There's obviously no use of the editor or anything like that. This is just a normal player who's come through attribute-wise, looks nothing special, and he is scoring an absurd amount of goals. I love it. Right. Do we take Veloso off now? I think we probably do. Just because Champions League final, he's got his 2 goals. Marcelo can come on and have a little bit of a run around now and maybe grab himself a goal. I know he's on a hat-trick. I know he's trying to set a record, but we're probably going to win the Premier League anyway. Even if we lose here, we're probably still going to win the Premier League. And I'd quite like to win the Champions League as well. And I think our best bet of doing that is by keeping Veloso fit. And Veloso was the most tired man on the pitch right there. And that honour now falls to McKenna. So he comes off in similar circumstances. Diaz gets to come on for him. Let's drop a little bit of encouragement. I would like to get things wrapped up today with a 3rd goal, because obviously a draw, although we're 5 points clear for now, City play later, so we can't get the trophy presented at our own ground unless we grab the goal to win the game. And Jovanovic, I thought he was going to do it. I don't think it's even hit the post in the end. It looked like it was so close, but it's gone a little bit wide, I think, at the near post, and it looks like things are going to be going down to the final game of the season, because this is Football Manager, and that's how title run-ins work. But yeah, no title for us today. At least it means you're going to have to watch the second half of the episode as well. So there's always that. And we are away from home on the last day against the Leicester side, who look like they're in a relegation battle. I don't know if they're safe. I think they might actually they are safe going into the last day. So Leicester have nothing to play for. I mean, we could still win it today if Manchester City do anything other than win. Oh. What? Huh. Yay for us? What happened there? City did go and lose at Norwich. I mean, it's a little bit sad that we don't get the animation. We won the Premier League. It feels like such an anticlimax doing it this way. I want the cameras in the changing room after the match. We've all stayed in there and watched the game together. And the champagne is flowing. I mean, I'm going to open a Diet Coke in celebration. Oh, lovely stuff. Cheers, everybody. Back-to-back champions. I'm not going to pour it over my head because my computer's down by my feet and I don't want to get it wet. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, we can now rest a lot of players for the Leicester game. Manchester City presumably have already started resting players, and that's why they've lost to Norwich the way they have. And it is now all about prep for the Champions League final against Manchester City. So then a much rotated team for the final day of the season looks a lot like this. Alex Williams in goal, a back four of Guerrero, Hannah, Elias and Kelly, McKenna and Much in midfield, Figueira and Perez out wide, Marcelo and Jovanovic up front. You might question why McKenna's in the team. Remember, McKenna is just returning from injury, so we're just trying to get him back up to match fitness before the Champions League final. He'd missed a lot of football. He's only played 2 games, not managed a full 90 yet. So I think it's important to get game time into McKenna. But everyone else is pretty much being rotated out of the side for this game, just to not risk anybody really. Right, let's get the team talk done and hopefully still put on a show. I think this is a team that's still good enough to beat a team like Leicester, who are, I mean, very much been in a relegation battle all season long, whereas this is all our second string team, a bunch of players who've very much been involved in our run to back-to-back Premier League wins, Champions League title. I don't think there's anybody in this team who's started less than 10. I guess Marcelo would be the one, maybe Much, haven't yet started 10 Premier League games. Maybe Kelly. Okay, so there's perhaps, and Williams, so maybe half the team. They're featured. Maybe not as prominently as I thought, but the likes of Elias, Hannah, Guerrero, Perez, Figueira, Jovanovic, Marcelo, since returning from Monaco at Christmas, they've all been very much involved in the first team squad. So I think we should be capable of winning this match. And it's good to see Much and McKenna together in midfield again. Elias playing it forward too much, who plays the ball out looking for Figueira, who's having a rare appearance on the left-hand side today. And what a goal he's just scored. I tell you what, boys and girls, we need to find a way for that boy to be a starter next year. He's not getting not getting in the team ahead of Park because of Park. But Ian might want to watch his back because you've never seen Ian do this. Ian scores goals. He does not score goals like that one. My goodness me, what a goal from Figueira. And it's Leicester 0, Home 1. And that puts us to a 7-point gap at the top of the league now. Manchester City, are they losing again? Manchester City are playing Manchester United, I think, and losing at home currently. This could be exactly what we need to give them a blow to their confidence before the Champions League final. Right, Perez has picked up a knock, so we'll take him off. We'll bring Hoffman on that right-hand side to have a look at him. I know, I didn't do a team talk. I know Francisco's there down on the bench as well and would be an option, but we know what Francisco can offer, whereas Hoffman, I was hoping this would be a breakthrough season for him, but he's not really had much in the way of opportunity. I mean, the fact that Figueira has had such a breakout season of his own and Jovanovic has really emerged as a regular for us up front, and Marcelo having such a good time at Monaco, it has been hard for Hoffman to find a way to break in, but you know, this is an opportunity. 45 minutes of football, last day of the Premier League season. If he impresses, he's then in the thoughts for next year, isn't he? That's how these things have to work. Hannah then looking up for options ahead of him, trying to find Figueira, who brings it down beautifully. I mean, look at that for control. I tell you what, we've got a superstar on our hands here. Look at him go. I say there's no way he's getting in the team ahead of Park. If he carries on, he's still only 19 years old. If he carries on progressing the way he is, there might come a day at some point where he gets in this team ahead of Park. Much playing it forward to Hoffman. Hoffman now to Kelly, and Kelly on the right-hand side. Cross comes over, looking for Jovanovic, finds all 6'4" of Jovanovic, and he grabs his 18th goal of the season, which for a player who's not started loads of football, probably started less than half our games, to have 18 goals shows just what a step up he's made this season as well. We've got a lot of players well into double figures this year. Jovanovic, Juan Jose, of course, Veloso, and Figueira's 1 goal away. Park's already there. Ian's already there. Kleber's very close. Marcelo's already there, if you count his goals for Monaco. We've got a lot of players scoring a lot of goals for us this year. And we're just a good team, aren't we? Figueira now playing over, looking for Hoffman. That's a bit of a misplaced pass. Not a lot Hoffman can do with that. Hoffman, by the way, is another one for the collection of giants that we've got. He is a big boy. As you can see, looking at him there, I'm not quite sure how tall he is. We can check on him in a second. But I remember him being a big boy. McKenna, what a goal. How is that your first goal of the season for David McKenna? We've got him in the team to try and get him back into some match fitness, back ready for the Champions League final. And that's how you announce you're ready for the Champions League final. Most senior player on the pitch, and apart from Williams, I guess, but most senior regular first team player on the pitch, leading by example there with an absolutely thunderous goal. Right, let's make the last couple of changes. Hoffman is 6'4", so he's another in the 6'4" club. I'm going to take Marcelo off. He's had a poor game, so Camacho can come on for him. And then this one was always pre-planned. Probably for the final time, Kieran Hodgkinson is going to come on in central midfield. This is going to be the goodbye from Kieran Hodgkinson, I think. His first Premier League game in 5 years. And I assume it's going to be the last one. And, I think he deserves a goodbye. We'll try and offer him a coaching job this summer, slightly differently to Harrison Davies. He doesn't seem that keen on doing a coaching job, whereas Sir Harrison is already closing in on his Continental A license. He's just marching through. Hodgkinson didn't even want to go on the National C course. So, we are getting the trophy presentation after all. I didn't think we'd get it, especially with us being away from home. I guess Leicester's not too far from home. It's only just down the road. I imagine we took a lot of fans with us today. I love the fact that it's Alex Williams there who's going to collect it because none of the first team are here. What a weird trophy celebration. The reserves celebrating winning the Premier League and lifting the trophy. And it's Alex Williams, which means, of course, if Alex Williams is captain and holding the trophy, he won't be the one who does the cartwheel. So who's going to step into the goalkeeper's cartwheel void? All eyes, it's not going to be Jovanovic, surely. Number 23, I think, is Jovanovic. I think we've just seen a 6'4" cartwheel. Of all the things. There you go, boys and girls. Premier League champions, second year in a row. Now it's all about Wednesday, Champions League final, and potentially the end of the series. Knocking bottles off my table because I'm celebrating so much. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.